I have a lot of characters, so instead of not talking about them, I'm going to talk about them. Today's victim are my Biophorus universe characters. I don't know. So yeah, let's talk about that. Let's explain what that means. Yay. The first character I should introduce you to is Dr. Flack. So this dude is actually only 32 years old. So you're probably wondering, why does he look like he's a million years old? Why does he look like an ancient dinosaur? And we'll get to that. But he's a scientist. He works at a lab called Biophorus Labs that he founded and created and works in all by himself. There are no employees, nobody else in the lab. And honestly, for a good reason. You see, Dr. Flack used to be very happy. He had a wife and he worked as a chemist at a local lab. But one day, his wife is killed. She was murdered and nobody knows who. The police gave up shortly after trying because they had no leads. Nobody knows who murdered his wife. Dr. Flack becomes spiteful to the world and is kind of a bit of a recluse. He doesn't show up to work for 6 weeks and doesn't talk to anybody, which obviously leads to him being fired. But he doesn't really care. He has a new goal. Using all the money he and his wife had saved up to their future, he buys a warehouse. He turns this warehouse into Biophorus Labs. Shortly after, he develops a new chemical called eucoxium phosphate. His goal is to try and make it bring things back to life. I wonder why. He injects it into a rotten tomato, attempting to get rid of the rot, but instead, something weird happens. The tomato monster, officially known as Project AA, is born. The tomato at first, after being injected with the eucoxium phosphate, was totally fine, but then after a few days, it turned into this monster. And for the first time in months, Dr. Flack thinks about something other than his wife. He has created something so powerful that it can make vegetables grow legs, and he wants to know what else he can do with it. Dr. Flack buys some newts from the black market. He gets them. They're very, very, very adorable. And then he kills them. And then he uses the eucoxium phosphate in the newts to see what happens. Not only do they come back to life, but they're also more intelligent. A few days later, they start walking on 2 legs. And eventually, the Nootes are formed. Which leads us to the most important character, Nanurb. I've actually had Nanorb as a character for like 4 years, so she's by far the most developed. Her design hasn't changed that much, but I know it isn't very naturally newt colored, but I'm not gonna change it, okay? This is the OG colors. She's a colorful little baby. Anyways, Nanorb is the main character of this story. I'm still working out the actual story while I do have the world building, but yeah, she is very cool. The Newtons grow smarter and they live in the lab for many, many months. One day, Dr. Flack comes in and Nanorb has developed an ability to talk and asks to leave the tank. He says, someday, but not right now. Maybe a couple months from now. I'll let you out eventually, I promise. But Nanorb knows that isn't true. A few weeks later, she escapes from her tank with brute force. A glass shard from the tank cuts Dr. Flack across the face. In order to distract him, Nanorb knocks over the eucoxium phosphate and runs away to go rescue her friends. The chemical gets into Dr. Flack's cut, causing the acceleration of growth to happen. In less than a minute, Dr. Flack ages 52 years. As for the Newtons, all 5 of them escape. Now I just want to quickly go over the other Newtons. AB, also known as Nori, is Nanorb's best friend. He's very silly and very sweet. AC, or Ragley, is a very sweet, kind of softer soul, I'd imagine. I feel like she's kind of into gathering flowers or something. Next up we have AE Bassett. He is the silliest and most adventurous of all of the Newtons. He's very much a risk taker and he loves to get himself into trouble. And last but not least, we have AF Mats, who I think is the stoic, kind of chiller one, keeps everyone in control. Here's the Biophorus logo, the Biophorus smaller logo, and yeah, that actually should be it. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my silly little guys.